Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care. As always, I'm your girl Candy Washington, and I am so grateful for this time together. So whether or not you're watching on our YouTube channel or you're listening to on one of our podcast platforms, don't forget to like, rate, review, subscribe, comment, all of the things, and share with a friend because your journey to self-love and self-worth is always easier with some support. So share, and head over to Instagram at Candy Washington. Give me a follow, give me a DM, tag me with your aha moments that come up for you during our time together. So let's get started. So today's episode is all about the top 5 signs that you might need to be single. I know everyone is always talking about, how do I get a man? How do I get a woman? How do I lock it down? How do I, get that relationship? Maybe you need to focus on yourself, be alone, figure out who you are, and use some single time to cultivate a loving relationship with yourself. So let's get into it. The top 5 signs that you might just need to be single for a bit. So the first sign is that you are just out of a relationship. I know sometimes we think that only long-term or super serious relationships are meaningful and that those are the only ones that you need time to mourn or heal from, but I don't agree with that. I don't really think that it's based on the duration. Some people are together for 10 years. Doesn't mean it was a meaningful relationship. Some people have seen someone for a couple of months and it was a really meaningful relationship to them. So I think it's not so much about how long you're in a relationship, but what did that relationship mean to you? And if that was a meaningful relationship to you, and meaningful doesn't mean that it was healthy, it ended for a reason, but it still mattered to you. Take that time to mourn the relationship, to grieve, to self-reflect. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about dating? What did you learn about relationships? What would you do the same? What would you do differently? How do you take accountability for what happened in the relationship? Again, it's not about judging or criticizing or blaming or shaming. It's just about taking responsibility, being self-aware. This is how I showed up in that relationship, in a good way and then also in bad ways. So take the time to heal from your relationship before you jump into another relationship. And I also want to say, I think, of course, people want to sleep with other people or do whatever with other people when they get fresh out of a relationship. There's that saying, the best way to get over someone is under somebody else. And I just don't believe that at all. I'm not saying that you shouldn't sleep with people. That is your choice. I don't shame anybody for that. It's your body, your choice. Do what's right for you, but make sure that you're doing it for the right reason. Make sure that you're not masking the pain or the hurt or the loss of that relationship with sex. Make sure that if you are, giving someone the privilege to sleep with you, that you're doing it from the right place. Hey, sometimes you just want to have some fun. And if that is the case, then have fun. But if you're doing it because you don't want to be alone, you're doing it because this is your way of sort of, self-medicating, and medicating isn't always medicine. If you're kind of numbing your pain through sex or finding your worthiness through sex or whatever it is, then maybe take a step back from that too. But of course, always do what's right for you. There's no wrong or right way to do it. Just make sure that you are taking care of yourself and you're honoring yourself and you're not doing something to mask or to self-medicate or to numb or to deny what your feelings are. Give yourself the grace to mourn that relationship, to self-reflect and to take accountability, and then to empower yourself with those healthy tools that you can now bring into your next relationship rather than bringing in the baggage from your last relationship, you can bring in the insights, wisdoms, and tools that you learned from your last relationship. So don't bring in your baggage, bring in your toolbox. And that comes with taking time and self-reflection and being on your own. So don't jump from relationship to relationship, and don't jump from bed to bed. Take that time to be single, really take care of yourself, and focus on who you are. And that brings me to my second sign that you might need to be single. If you've never been single, there are a lot of, self-proclaimed, almost self-righteous in a way, relationship people. Those people, those girls, those guys who can just never be alone. They're always with someone, whether it's these long terms or whether it's these short terms or a mix of the both. The person that has never been single. So if you've never been single, maybe now is the time. And if you're watching this or listening to this and you're in a relationship, that's probably a sign that something attracted you to this video. Something in you is saying that maybe your current relationship isn't fulfilling or isn't really where you want to be. Because if you're in a happy, healthy relationship, you're not going to watch a video or you're not going to listen to a podcast that is titled Top 5 Signs That You Need to Be Single. So that in and of itself is a sign that you might need to be single. So if you are sort of that relationship person who can't be on your own, who hasn't been on your own, who's never lived in an apartment by themselves, who's never traveled by themselves, who's never had certain life experiences, have struggled, have succeeded by themselves, that might be a huge sign that you need to actually be single, because you have to be whole as yourself before you can form a healthy union with someone else. And that brings me to my third sign that you might need to be single. You don't know who you are. If you don't know who you are at your core, if you don't know what your likes are, your dislikes are, if you don't know if you're uncomfortable with being your authentic self, if you kind of feel lost or purposeless and all of that stuff, I'm not saying that you can't find yourself in a relationship, because you can. There are people who feel all of those things and they're able to overcome it and still be in a relationship. Sure, that definitely happens. But it also happens sometimes when you're on your own, when you have that time to say, hey, well, tonight, what would I watch on TV if it's just me? What would I eat for dinner if it's just me? What career choice would I have if it's just me? What decisions would I make if it's just me? Who am I? What do I want? What do I need? What do I value? What do I bring to the table? What do I want from the table? Really getting clear on who you are. What is my value? What is my worth? What is my perspective? What is my point of view? Who am I? Why am I here? All of those big questions, right? If you are unclear on who you are, it's probably really hard to then develop a healthy relationship with somebody else. Because it's two whole people should come together to create a union, not a half a person and a half a person come together to create one person. So if you're having those big life questions and you're unclear on who you are, that might be a sign that you need to maybe focus more on yourself, going to therapy, doing self-care, taking solo trips, just really working on yourself, getting new hobbies, figuring out dating yourself, really take that time to get to know you, to get connected back to yourself, to date yourself, to make yourself your best relationship. So that might be a big sign that you need to be single. If you're unclear on who you are, then how do you know who you want to be with? Because I need to know me before I know we, right? The fourth sign is that you don't want to be faithful. And I'm not talking about people who are polyamorous or anything like that. That is different. That is your own choice. That's a lifestyle choice. that's different. That's different. If you are, polyamorous, or you have you're in a relationship, but it's an open relationship and both partners are on track with that, that's fine. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not shaming that or judging that. I'm a huge believer in however you find your authentic love, that is how you find it. With whomever, with whatever, however. As long as that is your authentic love, knock yourself out. So I'm not talking about people who want open relationships or people who are polyamorous. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you are in a relationship and you are cheating on your spouse or partner, don't disrespect that person and don't disrespect yourself. Break up. If you're in an unfulfilled relationship where you have to try not to cheat, or you are cheating, break up. That is a huge sign that you are either not with the right person or you're not with the right person at the right time. So if you're not in a place to be committed and to be monogamous, and again, I'm only talking about if that would be an ultimate goal for you and your spouse or your person, right? Not talking about open relationships, not talking about polyamorous people. I'm talking about the people who are in these relationships and they are texting other women, sexting other women or men. I'm not discounting anybody, women or men, other people, cheating, sleeping, kissing, flirting, emotional cheating, physical cheating, all of it. Maybe then just be single. Then, let that person be free to do them, and then you are free to do you. But don't drag it along just for the sake of being in a relationship, and don't act like you're staying in the relationship because you don't want to hurt the other person. That's BS. If you're cheating, or even if you want to cheat, that's a pretty big sign that your relationship isn't healthy or happy, and you're only hurting yourself and the other person. So if you don't want to be faithful when you're supposed to be in a committed relationship, break up, be single, do you. Until you are ready to commit to a person. And then you are ready to give yourself fully, and the person is giving it to. And it's okay. It's okay to want to, see what's out there, to have fun. I don't think that I don't believe in shaming anybody sexually. If you want to sleep with someone and you want to have some fun, do it, as long as you're safe and you're protected, all of those things. It's consensual, all of that stuff. Of course, do you live your life, but don't do it at the expense of somebody else, because you're not just disrespecting that person, you're also disrespecting yourself. You're lacking integrity. You're saying one thing and you're doing another. And you're bringing that energy and karma back to yourself. You don't have to cheat. You can get out of a relationship. So that's another big sign. The fifth sign is that, and this to me, you could be in a relationship for this, or you could be single. It could work either way. But you are waiting or wanting the other person to save you. You want to be in a relationship because you want that person to complete you, to choose you, to save you, all of those things. You're seeking your healing. You're seeking your worth. You're seeking your value in another person. And that can come in many different forms. You're seeking a Prince Charming or a princess or whatever it is to make you look good and to make you feel good, because you don't feel like you're good enough on your own. You don't feel like you're worthy unless you're in a relationship. And this could be people who are in relationships, who are in unhealthy relationships, but they refuse to get out of it because they're scared of being alone. They're scared of what they think other people will think about them. They're scared of starting over. Or you could be single and you think, I'm not good enough with just me. Everyone's in a relationship. Everyone's getting married. Who's everyone and who cares? And you're looking for a relationship to validate you or to give you value and worth. Goes back to what we've already been talking about. You, singular as you are worthy, valuable, and deserving. You don't get your value or worth through your relationships. You get your worthy and value and worth simply because you're here, through your intrinsic value. You already are enough, and you don't need a relationship to co-sign your worthiness. So if you're looking for a relationship, if you're looking for a ring, if you're looking for a status, if you're looking for a person to save you, to validate you, to give you your worth. And I know that can be hard because I know that society is changing, but we're not there yet. We have all of this pressure. Oh, you're this age and you're not married. Oh, you're this age, you don't have any kids. All your friends are getting this. Oh, your family is pressuring you, all of that stuff. But that is just noise. And you have to remember to follow your own path and to do what is right with you, and that there is nothing wrong with you. You're not less than, and you're not lacking. You're just honoring your worth, and you're taking your time to make sure that when you do get in a relationship, it is with the right person for you at the right time for you. Because there are a lot of people in relationships out of ego. What I mean by that is they're in a relationship because they think, I'm this age, I don't want to be single. I'm this age, I don't want to be by myself. I'm this age, I don't want to get a divorce. Or it's all my friends are doing it, me too. We've been together this whole time, I can't break up with that person. But behind closed doors, it's a horrible relationship and nobody is happy. And they would probably be a lot happier if they broke up, became single, took time to heal and reflect, and then find someone who is right for them at the right time. So don't, sort of give in to societal pressure or ego-based pressure to be in a relationship with someone just for the sake of saying that you have a relationship. Or if you're single and then you kind of have low self-esteem, low confidence, you don't feel good about yourself because you think you should be in a relationship, or you're being judged or shamed or whatever it is. Because if you are operating from that low self-esteem, if you're operating from that low sense of worth, that low confidence, it's going to make it that much harder to be in a place to attract and receive healthy love. So you have to know that you are already enough and worthy, and no, you don't need anybody to save you. You don't need anybody to complete you. You just want to share life and love with someone. It's the sharing of the life and the love. It's not the giving, it's not the completing, it's not the saving of it, it's sharing. I have so much love to give, and I have so much love to receive. It's the sharing of it. And that's really what it's about. And you are worthy and deserving of love. And most importantly, you are worthy and deserving of your own love. And that's what this is really about. Loving yourself. And that truly will be the example for how other people will know how to love you. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 signs that you might need to be single for a bit. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Leave it in the comments. Answer the questions if you're watching on Spotify. And again, be sure to share this with a friend, because this journey is always so much better with support. Find me over on Instagram at Candy Washington. Give me a follow. Shoot me a DM. We can talk about it and give me a tag. And as always, be well and take care of yourself and each other. And don't forget to always check out the show notes and the description box for freebies, some of my favorite things, and how to connect, and other great stuff that we got going on over here. So I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!